Okay, here I am back again, and this is why I love my son-in-law because we can have some clear-cut discussions, and he's open-minded like I'm open-minded. Well, I gotta be open-minded because my grandfather was white. So, hey, what can I say? But on look, son-in-law, I understand what you're saying. And most of that, I agree with you. I agree with you. I understand. I totally understand. If someone's pulling a weapon out on you, there's no question about what the intentions are. You're supposed to defend yourself. But that's the problem with the wording. Reasonably, you and I both know common sense isn't common, and that's the problem. And that's why I say there need to be clear-cut, defined laws. So there's no question, there's no misunderstanding about when you pull your weapon out to use it. Because I used to get on you all the time about being safe out there in the streets. Because in our family, we've always had ministers, educators, and law enforcement. My Uncle Buster in 51 was killed in the line of duty. So I've always respected policemen, and I know that they do walk a real tight rope. But that goes along with the territory when you decide you want that job. I know in my profession that I finally chose, I walk a real fine tightrope. I deal with some crazy people, and and I never know when one of them is gonna go off. But I say that to say this: when you talk about reasonably assuming, like I can't remember that whether she was in Chicago or where. But there's a police officer, a female, that was jumped on and she didn't pull her weapon. And I think she should get the whatever the civilian medal of honor is in that locale where she's at, she should get it. Because I know a lot of the male officers would have said, oh, I would have shot her. But she used her head. She, when her police chief was talking about all the things that went through her mind, the biggest thing that I can say about her is she used her not pulling her weapon. Not only protected her, but it protected her fellow officers that came to her support and innocent civilians that might have been around. Because if the guy was high on PCP, one shot probably wouldn't have stopped him. And if he was that strong, he probably could have got her weapon from her and killed her with her own weapon and put the officers coming to her defense in jeopardy. She did a smart thing, covered up her weapon and waited for help to come. I don't appreciate the fact that she had to endure the injuries to do that. But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about giving a police officer a badge, a weapon, and hoping that they have the common sense to know when to pull it and when not to pull it. And what we're seeing is you have those crazies out there that's using that phrase reasonably thinking they're in harm. That reasonable is what they're using as an excuse. And I know that you can get mad at a person and you look at them and cross your eyes, cut your eyes, roll your eyes, and get that look on your face. And a lot of officers is saying, okay, yeah, now I reasonably think he's going to hurt me. And it's been happening. And it has been happening. And that's what we stop. I know it's a fine line that everybody's walking. And as for the weapons, you made mention about the weapons that's proliferating in the streets. And you say gun control don't work. Well, we don't know gun control won't work because we haven't tried it. But one thing we do know is that They have to be getting the weapons from somewhere. We do know, and it's been documented, that what these gang bangers do and what they do is they go down, especially down south where the law is real loose. They buy cache weapons and then bring them back up to New York, Chicago, and even in Detroit. And that's why we have a proliferation of weapons. And that's why that loophole has to be closed. And that's all we're saying about the weapons loophole. There's a loophole, and there are loopholes in the laws that's getting weapons in the wrong hands. And they have to be closed. So we do need gun control. Like I said once again, I don't mean raining on nobody's Second Amendment. People don't know what I got. They're not supposed to know what I got. They don't know if I have a concealed weapons permit. Nobody knows that. But there's certain things that reasonable people can do, that we can operate under the laws as they are now. But then there's loopholes where the wrong people are getting their hands on these weapons. And they're not buying one or two. They can go down south and buy a trunk load. They bring them back up north. And that's why you have all those weapons in Chicago. And that's what they've been doing. I don't know if you ever watched this program, Vice, where the guy was showing how the gangbangers, how they were doing it. They go down south, go to the gun shows and stuff, get a trunk load of weapons and bring them back. Sell them or distribute them to their gangs. That needs to be closed, man. That's for my safety, your safety. That's for the safety of everybody that's walking the street. I don't want all them guns walking the street, proliferation of guns. Because they get in the wrong hands, especially these young gangbangers. They don't respect anybody. They don't respect, let alone a police officer. They don't even respect me in the street. So no, I want the loopholes closed. I don't want my Second Amendment rights violated, but I don't want the wrong person with a gun that's not gonna know how to that's not gonna know how to use enough common sense to understand it's a weapon of defense, not offense. But that's what the point that I was trying to make. It's not that police officers, like I said, I don't know. Thank you for the information that they do have rules of engagement. But evidently, the rules are too vague. They need to be well defined. It can't be any excuse because I want them protected. I want to be protected. And I want it safe for everybody. Everybody. Like I say, my thing is, I'm for mankind. I get tired of that black, white, yellow, purple, blue, and all that Asian, Muslim. Like I said, God didn't create that. He created man. And if we're going to survive, we're going to all have to work together. We're going to have to live together, love together. And I see that coming up with the younger generation now. Like I said, it's happening, but it's happening. It's slowly happening. You begin to see where people are looking at people as people and not as a color. And that's the way as it should be. As it should be. So, son-in-law, I really appreciate your input. And I appreciate the knowledge. And I do love you. You family. and I respect your opinions. Hey, you have a good day. Love, father-in-law. And God bless America.